This is the Healing Oracle with Mrs. Larissa Cosmos here again with another awesome conversation between us on this is going to be in gear towards judgment, what it is, how to stay away from it, how to recognize judging automatic thoughts, what we can do with it, what we can transmute it. Also, we kind of want to go into a little bit on the distractions that are happening today in the political world, and how to transmute those too, and how to recognize, fake news from real news. And then, Larissa, I think I can hear an echo or the TV or something. Or just an echo.
Boy, Trish, you're really cutting out on my end.
Yeah, okay. I was saying, I think I'm hearing an echo or the TV or something.
Yeah, and I'm not hearing much.
Okay. Okay. What about now?
Much better.
Okay. You know what? How I'm having the phone down, you're blocking the speaker, I think. So, okay. What about now? Okay.
You're good.
Okay.
I hear you.
Alright, I'm just gonna have to hold it a little bit. That's okay. So, I've got Facebook going too. Miss Maya is on. Hello, Maya.
Hello, Maya.
Yeah. Hello. And we've got a viewer on YouTube as well.
Welcome.
Hello. Yeah, welcome. We'll kind of give everybody a few minutes to find me before we get started because, I know there's quite a few that like to catch me live. Let me go on to find the comments here so I may see them easier. That way I can get your questions answered. Okay. Turn the sound down. There we go. Okay. Alright. And at any time, if any one of you have any questions geared towards me or Larissa, or our guides, or anything regarding an experience you need validated, dream interpretation, extraterrestrials, interdimensional entities, any experience, again, anything, I'd be glad to answer. If I don't have the answer, my guides will tune in and help me find the right answer for you. Yeah. I'm here, hey Larissa, I'm hearing like a TV or an echo or something.
It's cutting out. It's cutting out again.
Oh my goodness, okay.
Yeah, we're really having some technical difficulties tonight, sorry.
Yeah, we are. Okay, is that better?
Yes.
Okay. Whenever you say whenever it cuts out on your end, I hear like a huge echo from like the TV or something on my end.
Weird.
Yeah.
And I just hear, squabbly talking. You squabbly talking.
That's so weird.
That's all I hear. I can't make out words.
We were having an audio difficulty while we were talking before we came on, and we thought we'd fixed it, but we said even before we came on that there might be some difficulties. So okay.
But we have to, there's a lot of intense energies coming in right now, and we're probably not the only ones having technical difficulties right now.
Right. No, you're right. We're definitely not the only ones. Oh, yeah. I was notified earlier.
We'll roll with it.
Yeah, us. We'll roll with it and fix it. As we go. We'll try to. I was notified earlier there is a coronal hole facing Earth, and you guys know I talk a lot about how the sun's energy affects us spiritually, physically, and emotionally, mentally as well.
Yes.
That energy
certainly does.
Oh yeah, that energy whenever it comes in. So, and I'm not just talking about light. I'm talking about electromagnet. Energy that comes from the sun with these coronal holes. This coronal hole kind of funnels in that energy and pushes it in line with Earth, so that whenever it is flowing across the Earth, it's flowing across us as well. We're on the Earth, and it's literally, it's photons, it's photonic energy that we cannot see with the naked eye, but these little particles, these energetic particles, are meant to interact with our own energy field. And what happens then is, whenever we have an increase in flux in that, we're shining a light. We are literally shining a light on the shadow side, or our shadow self, that is bringing up old memories, old regrets, old perceived negative experience, old
Triggers.
guilt, just it's triggering in general.
Issues. Yes.
Exactly, it's triggering
issues.
in general. Security issues, 100%, absolutely. And we're meant to. The trouble with that is, a lot of people get fixed in on these experiences. And this is kind of where depression kind of comes in. We get fixed in on those experiences because those experiences are replaying in our mind, and we don't realize that when these experiences,
memory, yes.
Absolutely, we don't realize that we're meant to. The reason why it's replaying is because we're supposed to be breaking that experience down and finding, why did we go through this?
Why we had to experience that? Yes.
Why? What were we supposed to be learning? What were we not learning? What were we supposed to be feeling? What can we change about how we felt about that experience? Because that's the definition of transmuting. It's changing something from one form and perceiving it another way for it to be more efficient. Okay, so we transmute that from a negative experience and create a learning experience out of, and then therefore we work that out, and we move on from it. We allow ourselves to forgive ourselves. Okay, first off, we allow ourselves to forgive that other person. Okay, and then therefore we transmute it and move on from it, and then we can kind of peel the layers of the onion there. There is a question here. Diane says, I want confirmation of an abduction years ago. What was the purpose, please, and thank you. I can tell you right off the bat that most of your abduction stories are one of two things, and for you, I feel like it's the latter of my explanation. So, and that would be, a lot of us here on Earth, a lot of us in the spiritual community here on Earth, and probably 99% of you that are in here are starseeds, which means that our soul has lived many lifetimes, multiple lifetimes, on other star systems before we came to Earth. And a lot of us starseeds have chosen to come in here at this time on Earth during this grand awakening experience that Earth is going through. A lot of the abductions that we're having are from our soul family. So our soul family, our extraterrestrial soul family, are these beings from other star systems that are coming here, assisting us with our purpose is to why we came in as starseeds, and that's to help wake up humanity, help experience this grand awakening as well. So anytime that this happens and we go with our star family, we do perceive it as an abduction. But honestly, if you do remember anything from it, or those of you that don't remember anything from it, they are giving you knowledge, they are giving you downloads, they are giving you healing. Okay, I myself have gone with the Arcturians, and I remember,
and I myself with the Syrians.
There you go. Yeah.
From Sirius, yes.
And I remember seeing their healing chambers that they have, and honestly, they resemble so much of in these sci-fi movies. Whenever a person gets in this chamber-like thing, and then it can show what's wrong with this area of the body, that shows everything that's wrong with the human body. And then they use a type of a mixture of electromagnetic, zero gravity energetic light healing, okay, and then they heal that ailment or whatever it is. So it's not quite like how they show it, but it's a very similar, you know. And honestly, whenever I finally remembered it, I didn't remember it as a physical chamber. I remember it as more of an energetic chamber. It's hard to describe. But these are a lot of times the main purpose for abductions that we hear about today. And actually, we have kind of, before we come here, whenever we agree to come here as starseeds, we've agreed to allow these experiences to happen as part of the mission. Okay.
Yes.
All right. And then Tina has a question. I'm torn as to if I should go move near my mom or stay here and grow my business. Maybe you might have some guidance. What would be the highest good for all involved? And Tina, you already know the answer to that. So take a look at you and your feelings on it. So, and I want you to break that down a little bit.
And listen to your heart.
Yeah.
Your heart has that answer.
Exactly. You already know.
It doesn't feel good. Does it feel right? Say, ask yourself, do I move home closer to my mother, or do I stay here and grow my business?
And take that
One of
first
those
answer.
are going to radiate with you, and it's going to radiate through your heart, and that is the path you should follow. Because if it feels good and it feels right, go with it. If it doesn't, then it wasn't meant for you. But you have free will. You know the right path. Either path is right.
Absolutely. And whenever you ask yourself that question, take note of the first answer you get in your mind. There's a 5-second rule. I call it the 5-second rule. Take note of the first response that you give yourself in your mind. Okay. The first 5 seconds is your intuition answering you. You give it 5 seconds or longer, then ego comes in and tries to discredit that or take it a different direction. So 5-second rule there, babe, and then stick with it. But I do want you to, I want you also to ask yourself, is somebody else trying to get you to do one of those two things? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So, and depending, well, no, not depending on, I want you to listen to you, not to somebody else. Okay. Take your answer. Don't take somebody else's answer. If somebody's pushing you to, I'm not saying don't do that. If it feels right, absolutely do that. But don't listen to what everybody else wants for you. Listen to what you want for you. Okay.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Let me. Okay. Let's make sure I'm not missing any. Diane says yes. Thank you. Awesome. Okay. Oh yes. I remember a couple of my experiences, and then other times I do not. And it's all a matter of, and I'm speaking of the abduction experiences, it's all a matter of what we are ready to remember, okay? My guides have said that every single person on this planet has had some type of experience, whether or not they remember it or not. Some people are totally oblivious, they have no clue. They pass it off as a weird dream or an odd dream or something of that nature, when in reality every person has. And it's a matter of what we're ready to remember, what we want to remember,
or what we're ready to see, what we're ready to vibe with. Yes, exactly.
And the more you go down the spiritual path and the more you do your work, the more you're going to remember. Okay, and that's up to you. That's up to you what you want to remember. If they find that, if your star family finds that you're going to react in fear, or you're going to react in any manner that might cause harm to you emotionally or physically or something to yourself, then they might be more apt to allow you to not remember. But if they find that you're ready to understand it, you're ready to see it, you're ready to experience it, then and sometimes it's you don't want to remember, you don't feel like you're ready to remember, so a lot of times it's us blocking ourselves. We block ourselves so much in this world. I mean, am I right, Larissa? It's more us than anybody
absolutely.
else.
We all just realized how powerful we all are.
Absolutely. Oh my gosh, if And you know what? My guides have even told me that I'm just reaching the tip of the iceberg. So that tells you something as far as how powerful
I feel like
we
that
are.
every day, yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. If we really knew. Yeah. Absolutely. Take a drink here. Okay.
I mean, we may be here and we're ready to, open up and talk about what we know because we feel, very comfortable with it. It's natural to us at this point. It's what we do. It's who we are. We're authentic about it. But I also can say that every day I wake up, I'm still a student. I'm still, this life is my teacher. I'm still a student every morning. And I'm not here saying I'm a professional. I know all the answers. I don't.
Mm-hmm.
I'm learning as I go every day, every step of the way.
Absolutely, and nobody should claim to be perfect. And this is, you know what? That's something that's come up in the last week too, Larissa. Is the whole perfect thing. A lot of our OCD qualities, or a lot of our depression, honestly, is actually deep down comes from the thought that we are meant to perfect everything, or the need to be perfect. But my guides have come through several times this week actually, and have told other people through me that we weren't sent here to be perfect. We were sent here to be human. That's a good way to look at things.
So I have a saying that I always say: we are perfect in an imperfect world.
Absolutely.
Every one of us are perfect in an imperfect world.
Yeah.
Period.
You're right. And it's just a matter of we can't see that perfection. We cannot see how perfect everything is when we're being bombarded with everything telling us that we're not perfect.
Telling us otherwise.
Yes.
That's right.
You got it.
So right.
Yep. The further you get along in the journey, the more you see that everything is perfect. Everything's already perfect. Everything has been perfect, and everything will be perfect. And
you wake up, and like you said last week, you had everyone have a little. I wonder if they all remember their little homework you gave them.
Yeah.
To look back a year.
Yes.
Look back 5. Look back 10.
Absolutely.
And realize that this is magical. No matter how deep, dark, happy, lonely, all the good, all the bad, right now where you are is absolutely in line, and you couldn't be where you are today without every mishap, every success. You have to embrace every part of it.
Absolutely.
To get to where you are today. Like, look back. They're really the synchronicities from that time led up to this. Nothing is coincidence. Nothing is out of place. What can be out of place is, like you say, depression. People, you get there. I know, even myself, I have been depressed. They get stuck there. They get stuck there.
Yeah.
So they forget to remember how did they get there?
Yep.
What are they learning there?
Yep.
And what was the blessing in everything that is holding them there, holding them back? Because in all reality, the only person holding them there is themselves.
Yep. Absolutely.
If they just face it, they can erase it.
Yep.
If you face it, to erase it, you have to face it. And with the energies right now, people are going to face it. And sad, like I talked about last week, the holidays always seems to bring up a lot of this. But right now, there's so many other things coming at us at a cellular level, at an energetic level, at a spiritual level, and here on Earth level.
Yep.
I mean, we went to Walmart the other day. The energies were just off the chart, dark energy. It's like it's the holidays. Nobody looked holiday or felt holiday.
Right.
And an hour after we left, there was a bomb threat at that Walmart. It was like, the reality of it is, nothing today is a mistake. It's all led up to something.
Right.
A blessing, a lesson. And yes.
Yeah.
Hang on. Where it's all meant to be here, where it's all meant to happen, every moment, embrace it. We're all going places, whether we like it or not, whether we know it or not.
Absolutely.
Our cellular bodies know, our light bodies know, we know.
Absolutely. You got it. You couldn't have said it better. And you bring up a good point with you went into Walmart and it's supposed to be the happiest, most grateful time of the year, and I think society today has made it more of a mundane, a requirement, a stressor, because the most stressing time of the year, because we're being pushed to purchase this and purchase that, and everything's got to be perfect, and you know what?
Yes.
You can't enjoy it. You can't enjoy that. That's not, that's not fun. But you know what?
Putting pressure on something that is supposed to be surrounded around such, tis the season for love.
Right.
Tis the season for cheers.
Right.
Tis the season for happiness. It has all been washed out commercially. People have almost to the core of them forgotten or never even were taught what the season about. And in all reality, we should remember this season every day of our life.
Absolutely. It shouldn't just be this time of year. Right.
And people are forgetting that every day that we wake up, it's a celebration. Every day that we open our eyes, we take another breath, that's a holiday.
Yes. Yeah.
People are just forgetting it. We need to remind them to come back to who they are.
Yes.
That happiness is universal. It raises the frequency of Mother Gaia.
Yes.
And at this point right now, we need to raise these vibrations. We have an awful lot. I mean, I'm talking pummeling dark energy pulses that are coming at us, and this is at such a level that unfortunately a lot of us here on Earth, we're not physicists, we're not scientists, so we're not really understanding. But it's that deep. It's way deeper than people portray. It's more than they can see. But they're like antennas. We're going to respond to it whether we like it or not.
Absolutely.
It's just, it is what it is. And
and I cannot stress enough how important the emotion of gratitude is for all of us. Gratitude.
The raising of the frequencies.
Oh yes. Gratitude.
Living in gratitude is amazing.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Gratitude.
Oh, this Pepsi's so good.
So Larissa, who was that? That's okay. Who was that? The video that I sent you the other day, Dr. Joe. What is his last name?
Let me think. Dr. JoeDispenza.
Yes.
Dr. JoeDispenza.
You guys,
fabulous man.
And
fabulous.
What Larissa just said about none of us, or not all of us, being physicists and have doctorate degrees, or you know what, you don't really need to. I always say I really need a doctorate degree for as much research that I've done in connecting science with spirituality. Well, actually, I do have a doctorate. I'm a doctor of divinity, but that's something different. But so Dr. Joe Dispenza. So he breaks it down. I would recommend him to everybody. He takes science.
So would I.
Yeah, oh yeah. He takes physics, he takes science, and tells you how everything works on an energetic level when dealing with the human body. He breaks down brain waves and how they affect how we meditate, or actually how we affect our brain waves, and then in a sense
the beta, the alpha,
yes, and gamma is the most important one.
And the gamma, yes.
Oh yeah.
Gamma, that's where we want to be.
Exactly. And honestly, you know what's really weird, Larissa, about that is I watched his videos on that, last week, and then I see all these articles from the science community coming out about how there has been an increase in gamma waves coming from the sun and stuff. So you know what? If we connect with that,
same exact thing.
Did you?
Yeah, right.
So it make it perfect synchronicity. Perfect.
Yes, because I'm feeling the spiritual awakening from the gamma rays big time here.
Oh, me too, 100%. And this is probably a big reason why we are going through the awakening like we are, mixed with the fact that our sun, or the whole solar system, is actually moving into a higher density portion of the galaxy. So we all know, we rotate around the sun. We all know the sun rotates on an arm on the spiral galaxy, but not much has really been said about how it rotates and where it's rotating to. We know we're on an arm of the galaxy, but if you really look and do the research, it does show we move into different portions, we move into different areas of space as we're rotating around in the arm. So it's precession into equinox, but it's also something larger. It also applies to the galaxy and how the galaxy is rotating. And this is,
yes.
And like
and we're
I said,
spiraling forward.
Exactly. Like I said before, we've been here before. We've been in a golden age before. We've been higher vibrational entities before. It's the fact that how we're rotating around kind of affects what vibration we move into. Because if we move into a higher vibrational part, higher frequency part of the galaxy, then guess what? We become higher vibrational. If the vibration slows down that we're going to, then guess what? We move down. But it's really interesting to put that together with what's happening on Earth right now and what's happening in the rest, because it's happening not only on Earth, it's happening in the rest of the solar system as well. So
yes,
and we're seeing evidence of that.
For the first time in history ever of our planet, we are going where our planet has never gone before.
Exactly.
Seriously.
Yes, absolutely. Oh yeah.
And we're doing this all together, so.
Yeah. Yep. And that kind of brings us to our subject of soul family. We kind of wanted to touch a little bit on soul family too.
Sorry.
No, you're fine. And break that down because we were talking about soul family before we came on, but we wanted to kind of break it down because we realized that Larissa and I speak so fluently with, spiritual terminology and what it means, and it's kind of our normal. But then we're like, not everybody knows what a soul family is, not everybody knows what terminology, or just not everybody is aware of it. So, to my knowledge, the extraterrestrial communities, the communities that are in different star systems, the ones that are higher vibrational and more advanced, spiritually advanced than we are, and technologically too, they don't necessarily attune to family. They don't stop family at blood, okay? They actually are more about living in what's called soul family. So what a soul family is that we know we reincarnate here. We know that we have multiple lifetimes here, yes. But what does that mean for the people around us? And this applies to you meeting somebody for the first time in this life, and you say, gosh, that person just seems so familiar. Where do I know this person from?
I've known that person my whole life. Wow.
Exactly.
Where have you been, friend?
Yeah. Or like Larissa and I, who we just happened to meet each other on one of my live feeds, and it's like we sat down, and we didn't sit down because we live in 2 different states, but we talked for hours, and it's like we connected. And so Larissa and I are a soul family. That means that we are
sisters.
Exactly. Yes. We're sisters, yes. But that means that we have had multiple lifetimes together. So what that means on a bigger level is that we incarnate a lot of times with the same souls over and over again. And we may have different roles, okay? So in one lifetime, Larissa and I were probably real sisters, blood sisters. We could have been aunt, niece, we could have been mother, daughter, daughter, mother, we could have been cousins, and over time, over lifetimes, those roles may switch, okay? And we're not always the same gender too, so we could have been brother and sister, or who knows.
Yes, absolutely. And we do remember a time, one of our lifetimes in Egypt.
Yes, oh yes. And that lifetime for a lot of people is becoming more prevalent. It's this lifetime is somewhat mirroring, the lifetime in Egypt that we all had. So, absolutely. So that would be our soul family, the souls that we choose to incarnate with lifetime after lifetime.
Yeah, we come together, yes, in different roles, different places.
Yep.
But always finding each other.
Absolutely.
Because we are family.
Absolutely. So this is a soul family. So that
means no time, no space.
Yes. It's only energy. It's only soul. It's light. again, going back to the extraterrestrial communities and the info that they kind of attuned more towards soul family than they do blood family. So we just kind of wanted to clear that up. So when you do hear us talking about soul family or, energy family or any term like that, that's what that means. So,
yes.
Most of our soulmates, most of our any soulmate relationship, and typically the ones that are closest to us, the ones that have the most impact on our lives, these are going to be your closest soul family. And I think that long before, I had talked about your soul family number and the exact amount or approximate amount of souls that you do incarnate with from lifetime to lifetime, and this is anybody that teaches you something or you teach them, because we gotta think, they may be showing us something about ourselves, but in the same instant, simultaneously, we are also showing them something about themselves. Okay, so I think on average, and this research of mine with my guides has been a while back, but I think on average, a soul family is around the number 100. But
that sounds about. I would agree. Probably that sounds proper.
And this doesn't include people that you meet once or twice, but they are still part of your soul family. But I'm speaking more of like an immediate soul family. So if we accounted for every soul that we encountered, once or twice, and we'd be talking, hundreds of thousands probably, because we don't, especially somebody that works in the public,
Yes.
But I'll tell you what, don't put that on the low burner, because someone you meet once, someone you have a very short 2-minute conversation with, a random stranger,
can change it, be a life-changing experience.
Absolutely.
Their words,
yes. You
absolutely.
can change their life. You can change their life, or they can change yours, or together both. Yeah.
No coincidence. Yeah, no coincidence in the people we bump into for 5 minutes, 5 years, 50 years. Absolutely. We chose everybody we bumped into.
Absolutely.
An encounter for one way or another to trigger us, to teach us, to we to teach them, whatever. Yes, absolutely, yes. Trish. Good point. Perfect. I loved it.
Oh yes. And one example I'd like to give on that one is I was in a store, and this poor cash register, young girl, probably early 20s maybe, I'm not good on ages, but her register, I think, wasn't working right or something, or she was already flustered because there were so many of us in line, and every person seemed to take a while, and she was already having a bad day probably. And then everybody that got up to the register was giving her a hard time because, the register wasn't working, or, whatever was going on, I don't know. And I could see her getting so upset, and I'm like, why are all these people being mean? It's not her fault, come on, be polite, be respectful, she doesn't come to your work and give you a hard time, But I knew in my heart that, what, all this girl needs is one person to be nice. One person to understand that it's not her fault. One person to understand that, what, she's there out of the goodness of her heart, probably to make a minimum wage paycheck, but she's giving it her all, and people are being so rude and very unkind. So whenever it was time for me to get up to the line, I was joking, I was trying to make her smile, I was telling her, what, those are cute shoes, trying to get this girl to smile, and I made sure that I got one smile out of her before I left the register. And I actually went in, I didn't tell this part of the story because it hadn't happened yet, but I went in a while later, like, I don't know, a month later, and it was the same girl working at the register, and she remembered me, okay, she remembered me, and you know what she said? She says, what, she's like, you're the girl that came in and made me laugh whenever I was having the worst day of my life. The fact that she remembered that tells me that my whole hope was that her having a minute of laughter, her having one smile on the worst day of her life would change the events in the next few hours. You know what? I could have changed the next few minutes. I could have changed the next few hours. I could have changed the next few days. Apparently, I changed the next few months, but it takes that one
Right, that's
minute.
a ripple.
Yeah.
That's a ripple.
Absolutely. It takes that one
Yes,
minute.
and that's,
1 minute.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
we talked about that ripple coming from love.
Absolutely.
A place coming from a place of love, and that changed her life. Like, she could have quit the job after that day, if it wasn't for you coming through that one day.
Absolutely.
And saying, "Oh, I love your shoes," she could have been like, "I am not going to do this. I can't do this," But she didn't. She stuck with it. It got better, and we all impact each other.
Yes.
I think that should, I guess maybe was at the point of the message, is that we, no matter what our point of contact, we affect each other.
Oh yes, and never
for the good and for the bad, and
absolutely never think for a minute that your kind words don't mean anything. Okay, never for a minute that you think that one sentence isn't going to change your life. Don't ever discredit that. 1 minute, one word can change somebody's life or save somebody from a suicide. To go there. It really could. Somebody can be,
right.
In that mindset, and then you happen to be that one kind person that day that changed their whole viewpoint on the rest of the day. That can mean a lot.
Yeah, you lived in gratitude. You were thankful she was there, even if the register was messing up. And living in gratitude and showing her that you were grateful for her, probably did. It does make a big difference.
Exactly.
Absolutely, 100%.
So don't ever think for a minute that your word can't change somebody. I was going to read a comment. Sorry about that. Went down the wrong pipe there. Okay, Diane says actually was termed a Royal Libra. Okay. From the Starseed community, and I have no clue what that means. A Royal Libra. I don't know. Have you ever heard of that term, Larissa? A Royal Libra?
What was it?
A Royal Libra.
A Royal Libra?
Yeah. Yes.
A Royal Libra from what?
From the Starseed community. Or that's the Starseed community gave her that term, yeah. Okay.
Royal Libra.
And Libra is
I don't resonate. I don't know what that means.
Yeah, and I can't say I have that answer either, but a Libra is
the scales in zodiac, the balancer,
it's more of a zodiac sign, right? So, but that doesn't mean that because when we look at these constellations and then we put it in, we kind of connect it with the zodiac. We don't realize that when I say that so and so is from the Pleiades, well, Pleiades is a constellation. It's not really one planet. Gosh, I think it has 7 planets in the constellation.
The 7 sisters.
Right. So when somebody says they're from the Pleiades, well, which planet? That's so when you look at Libra,
7 planets in the Pleiades.
Exactly.
Right, 7 sisters. Yep.
So
absolutely correct.
When you look at Libra, it's got its own constellation, and I can't remember
constellation, right, in the sky. Yeah. Well, and I don't know what the Royal Libra is. I just, when I hear the word Libra, I like you said, I automatically go to Zodiac, but apparently. It's a star family. They're coming from the constellation of Libra.
Right, but that doesn't say
there's
exactly
a planet
where.
Royal. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Right. And you know what? I can tell you that. It sounds like maybe you've had a lifetime where you were possibly what would be considered royalty in their civilization, but every single one of us at one time in one lifetime has experienced royalty. So,
and I was going to say maybe if she does not know what the term means or the phrase, or maybe she could ask her guides, her star family, what they mean by that. That might be a message for her.
Yeah, you got it. You read my mind.
And for her to eventually one day give out the message of what a Royal Libra is.
You read my mind.
They have the answers. She has the questions, and she'd get the best answer from
from her and her guides.
Because
Absolutely.
I've never heard the terms. Yeah.
I can't say I have either, so I
term.
apologize. I don't have the answer, or we don't have the answer to that. But you know that she brings up a good point though, and I've often spoke about how do we ask our guides question, and you know there's such a misconception about how we get the answer. You know, I think a lot of us when we first start out in the spiritual community expect to hear an answer, audibly. They hear the answer. And that's not always true,
right.
You know. Those who
that
are clairaudient
may. A song, a message, a number.
Exactly. We kind of touched on that a little bit last time, but they lead you like breadcrumbs sometimes. They may give you a clue here, and sometimes that's frustrating. But you know what? If we were given all the answers, then we wouldn't learn anything. So the point is that we came here to experience. We came here to learn. So by kind of giving us a little breadcrumb here, a little breadcrumb here, we are fulfilling our mission by acknowledging those breadcrumbs and then learning from each breadcrumb. So we are fulfilling our mission by looking for that knowledge. Okay, just as plain and simple as that.
Trying to translate the message. Yes.
Exactly. And then from there, we continue our spiritual journey and grow and raise our vibration just from learning and seeking knowledge. So, but we don't always hear it audibly. I think some clairaudience can. Now, I don't. Myself, I don't hear anything audibly. I hear it more in the form of thought forms. And then I see a lot of pictures in my mind. It's like a movie playing in my mind or a short scene playing in my mind. That is my strong one. Is my clairvoyance.
My superpower is definitely clairaudio because I hear it.
Okay. Yeah.
And my intuition and clairknowing. Like the knowing.
Yep.
Like it's like. How do I know? But I do know. You know, it's the clear knowing that it's coming through. It's truth. It's pure.
Yep.
It is what it is. I don't question it because if a truth comes through, I guess I call it clear knowing. I don't know if that's even a term, but it's a clear knowing because it's not my knowing. It's knowing beyond my knowledge.
Yep.
And if I know it and I hear it and I like to speak it right away, even if it sounds crazy. Something will either come up in my life that week, that day, 2 months down the road, whatever. It came out my mouth. Now it is to be. It's like, oh, so it was the truth. Usually those knowings can be backed up.
Yes.
Either, sometimes YouTube, sometimes Google. So some of your life events.
Yep.
Yeah, so those are definitely how I get my information.
Yeah, that is clairsentient is what that is. So, I mean, that is a thing, and you just know you know it. You don't have no reason to know it. You just know.
Nobody gave me the book. Nobody gave me the tape. I can't pull up a video, but I know it is the truth.
And that, and you know what? We are all everything. Every single one of us on this planet are everything. It just depends on each individual and what each individual chooses to express in that particular lifetime. And this is typically something that you have spent lifetimes working on it, lifetimes practicing. So, you with your particular clairaudience and clairsentient, that's something that you broadened over lifetime to lifetime. And then mine with just the clairvoyance and then and clairaudient as well. It's just not as strong. And
which makes us a cosmic connection. Like a perfect cosmic connection.
Yeah, totally. Right, absolutely. And that,
different sources, different guides, different star systems.
Yep.
Different locations on Earth. I mean, just it's a powerful combination.
Yep.
Dynamic.
Absolutely, and we were talking about that the last time together before we got on. I think last weekend is the fact that we wanted to get across to you guys that we are in 2 different states. We are in 2 different time zones, and yet we seem to pick up on a lot of the same info without even knowing it until we go to talk to each other. And it's just slightly different perceptions.
backing each other up.
Exactly. You got it. I just been making sure we didn't have any questions. We don't. Okay.
I do want to thank everyone for being here. Thank you.
Yeah. One big thing next to the being perfect thing that's come up with me in the last week is, and I've spoke about it before, is judgment. Because so much of us don't realize how much judgment we do all day long, and that's me included. I've caught myself many times. We have such automatic thoughts because of the programming here in third density.
Yes, the programming. As we both said at the same time. Boom.
You got it.
The programming.
See what we mean? But it's not necessarily any fault of our own, that we have those automatic thoughts. Some of it is our fault if we choose to, if we recognize that we're having that automatic thought and we choose to continue the automatic thought because we can choose to change that anytime we want. If we choose not to change it, then it's our fault. Okay, we have every opportunity to transmute it into something more positive, and we don't, then that's on us. But the programming that's put here on us from third density is the public, okay, the media, the political distractions, okay. And this has been going on for centuries. So what I mean by an automatic thought is, okay, if we see a particular situation, say, let's take a media news story, a very negative, let's say a war broke out here and they're showing video of this particular war, okay, and it was a surprise, bombardment, I guess, if you want to go there, because I'm trying to think of something that would cause like a negative visceral reaction. So, and there I said it, I kind of defined it, but they're showing you this story, breaking news, war breaks out here, surprise attack here. What is your immediate reaction? Our immediate reaction goes to, oh, how horrible, it's going to spread to the whole world, or where next, those poor people, and this is being brutally honest, but we immediately go there. We immediately go to that very negative...
That place of fear. The automatic place of fear.
Exactly. Automatic place of fear. Exactly. And I've said before, and I'll say it again, it's not about the story. It's about how many people are watching. Okay, because...
and how they can rearrange the energy.
Exactly. You got it. Oh, yes. And I couldn't have said that better. It is the immediate reaction of us to have that fear, and then our ego kind of builds on that. So we have that reaction, we have that emotion, and then our ego just eats it up and just takes over. So then it leads into more thoughts here, more thoughts there, negative of the negative. So then we end up...
Yes, always, yes. One voiced word of the negativity rolls with 10 more. So you have to choose to turn it around.
Exactly. And
if you're watching the news and it's making you feel bad, it's making you feel sad, it's making you mad, that's exactly what this energy bubble wants. It wants that to feed, you're best off, I mean, we should all care what's going on in the world because it affects us all.
Oh, yeah.
But there are things that are going to go on that are going to take events in this life that are terrible.
Yep.
They're sad. They're, they are what they are meant to be at that place, at that time. And we can be affected, but we can't be consumed by it.
And we
there are things in this life that we cannot control, but we could send love. I mean, that love is so far-reaching. And, when people say Hurricane Katrina, that was horrible. That was devastating. It, touched us deep into the core of our souls, and especially the people who had to experience it.
Yes.
I couldn't be there physically,
Yep.
But I was there in my prayers, my thoughts, and sending love, sending light. That stuff matters.
Oh my gosh, yes, and more than we realize. More than we realize.
So this bubble, it's touching the collective. We have to choose what energy are we pouring into it. What are we going to feed into? Because we are programmed to want to feed into the wars, the bad weather, the.
Yeah, and she's so right. And so when we have that emotion, when we have that reaction of fear, kind of going back a little bit, it's so important. The most important thing that you can do after you have this automatic thought, this automatic reaction of fear, which who wouldn't, right? I'm not saying it's not right to feel sadness and want better, but the absolute key is recognition. Okay? Recognizing that you are reacting that way. You are going into a place of fear. Recognition of that fear.
Yes.
And then from there, we have the choice to stay in that fear or to do exactly what Larissa was saying, is to choose to come from a place of love. Yes, there's horrible things in this world. Yes, there's things that are beyond our control. Yes, there's so many negative at this point in time anyway on this earth. And choose to send love. Choose to say, you know what, I see that there's bad things. I see this going on. I recognize it. Yes, it's sad, but this is exactly why I'm here.
But
yeah.
Yes.
But this is exactly why I'm here, because I chose to come into this world at this time, despite the many negative things, precisely why there was so many negative things, so that I can continually spread my message to come from a place of love, to have everybody understand how important and how to raise their vibration and to come from a more peaceful, loving, compassionate, because just as we use the example of 1861 and slavery versus freeing up the slaves into a completely different world in 1871, this is exactly what we're doing here. Okay, and by showing us those stories of fear, by showing us the stories that create fear, they are in tune making us slaves to our own energy and to our own
yes.
So we are seeing the beginning of this new era to where we are breaking out of our energetic shackles and we are taking control of our own emotions.
Yes, we are not victims to the programming.
Exactly. And we are taking control of our own emotions by choosing to change our reaction of fear into something better. Because once we do get to a point where we reach that threshold where the spiritual awakening just skyrockets and everybody awakens, because it will happen. There will be a point where everybody is going to be aware of what's going on. Okay. And then we have a whole race of beings that are coming from and recognizing their automatic thoughts and transmuting them into positive, loving, a lot quicker and more effectively, and then we get to a point where that's all there is. Okay, and this is the whole point of why we came in here at this time, okay, to show everybody how to do that and why it's important. Okay, by creating those automatic thoughts of fear, it's keeping us in fear. Again, it's keeping us in our shackles. So
keeping us in the cage.
Exactly.
We are the key. We are the key to that cage.
Exactly. Yeah. Hi, Aaron. You know what, Aaron? I just realized I didn't tag the people this time that I normally do, so I apologize for that. So that's not your fault.
Welcome, Aaron. Welcome back.
It's nice to see you, though. I'm glad that you found us. So going to the actual.
Excuse me. Fighting a cold. Sorry.
No, you're fine, hon. You're fine. Take a drink. So going into our judgment of other people and ourselves. So again, using the automatic thought example, because if say we see somebody on the street, okay, complete stranger, we don't know who they are, and we pass them and we see that they have dirt on them, and then maybe it looks like they hadn't had a shower, or say they're too skinny, or you think they're too skinny, but you know what, even just saying that is a judging thought, because we really shouldn't have an automatic thought that someone is too skinny. You know what, and I myself has this problem because I am a little woman. I am 5'1", 95 pounds. So I've been judged a lot on, I've had people ask me if I was on drugs. I've had this, no, it's genetics.
Are you a bulimic?
Yes.
I went through that too when I was really skinny.
Yep. It's no, it's just genetics. Okay, if you looked at my whole line of women in my family, they were all little women. It's just how it is. But no, I'm not on drugs, and no, I'm not. No, I don't have an eating disorder. But so many people, and I don't blame them, because I know that they're being programmed to think that women have to look, this way, and they have to be this weight, and they have to be this height for, and this is the programming of society nowadays. They do this on purpose so that they keep us in a place of judgment whenever we see somebody that's not that way. Okay. We can't automatically assume that they have dirt on them because they chose not to shower. What if they can't? What if they are in a situation where they can't? You know what? Or maybe it's charcoal because they're an artist and they were drawing, pictures with their charcoal pencil. Okay. We come from a place of judgment, and then that holds us in our energetic shackles. And our immediate reaction was to judge this person because they do not look like us, or they do not look like the way society is telling us they need to. So again, the point is recognizing that thought and then changing it. So say I did this. Say somebody passed me and they were too skinny and they had dirt on them both, the most effective way was to recognize that I had that thought. Oh, why, I shouldn't say she's too skinny because, maybe that's just genes, or maybe they were sick.
Cancer. Maybe she has Crohn's disease.
Exactly. Exactly.
Maybe she just has a struggle that you never know.
Exactly. We all have struggles that, we don't tell everybody, we're all struggling with something. Exactly. Maybe they're sick. Maybe they're ill. Maybe they have tried to gain weight and they haven't been able to. Maybe that's a struggle. And I always said too, myself, because I've been asked about it, and I say it's just as much of a struggle for me to gain weight as it is somebody else to lose weight. We don't know what that person is going through. Okay. We don't know what that person is going through. So the point is, recognize it, transmute it, come from a place of understanding and empathy, compassion, put myself in her shoes, okay? And then I need to forgive myself also for having that judging thought, okay? We judge ourselves more than anybody else on this planet. We judge ourselves more than anybody on this planet. We are always in our mind.
And we need to change that.
Yes. If we change anything, it's number one, to have more gratitude and love, and number two, to stop judging ourselves, okay? I mean, really. That is a biggie. Because what's out here... Oh, yes.
Absolutely. That needs to change.
Yes. Because what's out there starts in here. Society does not get to choose
what perfect is.
No, and that's, kind of what I'm getting at.
They've ruled for too long with their standards.
Yes. I agree. And it's time for us to start speaking out, speaking truth, speaking our own truth, and also...
to rise in our own power.
Yes. And to see what...
If we're not feeling well, we have the power to change that.
Yes. You know what? Hold on. Let me see. There's a comment here. Okay. We're always in our minds, and the point is that what's out there starts in here, not the other way around. So when we're constantly having judging thoughts towards ourselves and we're constantly critiquing and trying to perfectionize ourselves, that's what we're going to see in our world. We're going to see judgment. We're going to see critiquing, you know. Yeah. So by changing, number one, our judging thoughts of ourselves, then we're going to find that we're going to see that less and less in our outside world. So you need to talk to yourself like you would your best friend. Would you go up to your best friend and say, you're too short, your hair looks dirty, you know what, and you've got, you know, the feet like a hobbit, you know, you say that to yourself, but you wouldn't say that to your best friend, right? Okay. But do we not say those things to ourselves throughout the day, every day? You know, I catch myself doing it just as much as the next person. I've gotten better about it now that I've been aware of it, but we start seeing changes in our outside world as soon as we start changing the way that we talk to ourselves. Okay. All right.
In our thoughts, our bodies transform, our frequency transforms, our energy, we vibrate higher.
Yeah.
We start opening up chakras.
Yeah.
There's many benefits to being your own best friend and to begin with yourself. If you have a strong foundation of who you are, where you're going in life, where you came from, definitely where you're headed, then you can handle the conditioning, the programming, the judging, it all begins with our own foundation. And if we looked at ourselves with love and admiration every day, and if we just took the 5 minutes before brushing our teeth in the morning to look at ourselves, to smile at ourselves, send the endorphins to our brain, we've already set our vibration up higher. So that will help us to get on with the rest of the day, because maybe you'll get stuck in traffic. Maybe you'll argue with your loved one, whatever the case may be. You're going to have that foundation that already put the endorphins in your brain. It came from a place of love. It came from a place of gratitude and understanding. And it sets forth that the judging will not come, because you did not judge yourself. You know, you came from the love. And everyone needs to remember that. Because when you're walking out the door, you're pissed off, you're running late, shit ain't going right. Well, that just, it sends more things into your path to trigger you. Maybe you'll get into a fender bender on the way to work because you were rushing there. Or maybe you'll run over a raccoon. I don't know what the case may be.
Yeah, it could be anything.
From that place, one thing always tumbles, and you know, people can look back and say, "Oh my God, this isn't my day. I rolled out of bed. I tripped over a slipper. I hit my head off the coffee table. I came in, the curling iron got caught in my hair. I cut myself with a knife. I just couldn't do anything right." And that's because the moment they got up and they stumbled, instead of laughing at themselves, taking it for what it was, it was nothing. It was no big deal. It didn't have to set the whole day off into a complete snowball downhill. You don't have to go there. You can say, "Oh God, there I go again. I'm such a klutz." Off I go. Go in the mirror. Give yourself a little smile. Brush your teeth. That you did. Put a little spring in your step. The other stuff is not going to head your way. You didn't put it out there.
Yep. And something came to mind whenever you were saying that is to, because when you said I'm such a klutz, I'm like, well, that's a judging thought, to itself. But you can kind of add a little spin on that. You could say something like, and I like it. I'm such a klutz, and I like it.
Right.
I like it. Right.
I should have known it was coming.
Yes. Oh, exactly. And I always say I'm such a Calamity Jane, and I am, but you know what? I like it. That's who I am. That is who I am. And, you kind of wanted to touch on being your authentic self, and that kind of rolls right into that, The more we can accept our own being, the more we can accept that we are maybe kind of klutzy at times, and, and that we can accept that we're going to be 5'1", 95 pounds forever. We can accept that maybe we're 200 pounds, 5'1", but you know what, we should accept that, because that's what makes us us. Okay, that's what makes us us. And liking and loving who we are, and acknowledging who we are, and having fun with who we are, you know what, that kind of helps us be more of our authentic self a little bit easier, because some people have a hard time with being our authentic self, true self, because they don't like themselves.
Well, some people are lost. They haven't even found who themselves are. They haven't either been out of, some people don't, they get into multiple relationships because they can't find themselves.
Right. And they're
they
looking
don't give
for
themselves enough time to find themselves.
Right.
So it's hard to be your authentic self when you haven't sat down and given, everyone should ask themselves, what do I want?
Yes.
What do I see in my future?
Yes.
What am I here to learn? People forget about that everything has to come from you. It has to come from you.
Absolutely.
You have to know who you are. Get to know where you're heading.
Absolutely.
If you don't know where you came from, then you don't know, your history repeats itself.
Absolutely.
If you learn from your past, if a situation comes up in your future, you're going to know how to handle it or how not to handle it.
Yes.
Because you had the past repeat itself in one way or shape or another.
Yep.
So people have to give themselves time, and it's time that people start waking up.
Oh, yes.
Learning to love who they are. Learning to accept who they are.
Yes.
Wanting to know where where they came from.
Yes.
Why, what their mission here is on Earth, because we are all in this together.
Oh, yes.
It begins with us.
Yep.
So I guess when I felt like when my message tonight was going to be, you need to walk in your authentic self.
Mm-hmm.
Before I walked in my authentic self, I had to fight thyroid cancer. I had a lot of my own tumultuous things I had to work through, and thyroid cancer was one of them. For one, I believe the cancer was caused from never speaking the truth.
Absolutely.
Never.
I'm right there
Always
with you.
Being shut down. Always being shut down.
Yes.
I'm no longer running from the truth.
Yeah.
I'm no longer saying, I say I'm from Sirius. I am a starseed from Sirius. I know that now.
Mm-hmm.
I accept that. I embrace that.
You love it.
I know that I am here to spread the word of love, and even, it's a 4-letter word, and it seems so small.
Yes.
And
but it's the
world.
It
seems sometimes so meaningless because it's sometimes over commercialized.
Yeah.
But love is the highest vibration. It is the most powerful energy. It has powers to move things, including mountains, people, the earth. I mean, I'm walking my authentic self, and spreading love is part of that walk that I was given here. I came down here. I'm going to be this wild child. I'm going to be hard-headed. I'm going to fight thyroid cancer. I'm going to have sons.
Awesome.
We all come down here to embrace what we're trying to do, and it doesn't come easy.
Right. Never. It's not meant to.
It's not sunshine and rainbows. It's not meant to be.
Right.
And finding ourselves, we have to find who we are to move forward in the future together as one. We have to do that.
Yes.
We have to find ourselves. We have to walk authentically in our path. And all of us have a big purpose here, and some of us are just missing the mark. And maybe everything I just said, I missed the whole mark. Find yourself.
Yeah.
It's time for us to wake up, for all of us to find ourselves
and be ourselves. And be ourselves, right?
Hold our hand, hold each other's hands.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
raise each other up.
And I think
embrace our imperfections.
Yes. The trouble with some of us is we, and it's through our childhood we're taught how to be, who to be, where to be, how to be, all the above. And we really haven't been taught much in this society nowadays. There's no class in grade school that says how to be yourself. There's no how to taught. We're taught, sit here, do this, do that, be here then, be here there, and then you're gonna like it. So we grow up thinking that everybody is gonna tell us how to be. We don't grow up thinking, I'm gonna allow for that choice for myself, you know. And then when we're 18, we're thrown into the world by ourselves, and we expect how to be ourselves. You know, it doesn't work that way. So, but you know, this is the time that we need to start waking up and finding ourselves, being ourselves, speaking for ourselves. And part of what comes with that is being able to say, I accept another person for being themselves as well. Because sometimes we have to put in perspective that not only are we taught that other people make our decisions for us, but as far as like, well, maybe this only applies to me because of me being a mom and me being a nurse, that it requires me telling other people how to be as well, you know. So I have to, it's like that mirror effect right now. So yes, that's happening to us, but we're also doing that for other people too. We're telling people how to be, where to be, and we need to cut it out too, as well as the other person. So we need to get to a point where we say, I am speaking for myself, I am myself, I love myself, I talk for myself, but we also have to respect that this other person over here is themselves, loves themselves, speak for themselves, you know what, and that's of no consequence to me. Okay, we have to be able to accept that that person is going to be themselves as well. So, and I think, you know, being ourselves is harder than telling somebody it's okay to be yourself, you know. But that's the world that we live in. But when we can get to that point, then we have made huge progress. But I'll tell you what, you know, like Larissa said earlier, and maybe this is what my guides are kind of coming through and wanting me to talk about too, is over the next few months, there are going to be things that are going to come out in this world that are going to make us, that are going to make us very surprised, very shocked, very sad. There are a lot of negative things that are going to come out, but they need to. There are a lot of things that, a lot of dark places in the world that are going to get a light shined on them. But they need to. They have to. It's going to get very, very upsetting for a while. But it's going to get worse before it gets better, because after all of this stuff is brought to light, we are going to come to a new age of understanding and awareness, heightened ability, love, compassion, empathy. We are going to be shown empathy like no other because of what's going to come out. Okay. Simply by bringing out these shadows, by shining a light on them, is going to make the rest of the world more empathized, because just for the nature of what it is. Okay. It needs to, though, and let's all be there for each other. Let's all love each other. Let's all listen to each other, and allow and assist another person in learning how to speak for themselves. Because part of what's going to come out is suppression. Okay, why the fact that we have been suppressed by emotionally, physically, mentally. Okay, and that suppression is going to go away, but in order for that to happen, it has to be exposed. Okay, we have to be aware that we're being suppressed for us to be able to speak out for ourselves, if that makes any sense. So, and we do that by shining a light on it.
I was just gonna say that we shine the light on it, and it can no longer hide. You have to deal with. You can't shine the light in the corner and find the mouse.
Right,
and not deal with the mouse.
Exactly. You can't. Exactly. No, you're right. Yeah, and you're
gonna. Words right out of my mouth, Trish.
You were doing that to me earlier. Light. Yeah, you were doing that to me earlier. You're reading my mind. Yeah. No, but you know, we have to shine the light on it, and we have to deal with it. We're gonna have to deal with a lot of things that are gonna come out in society in the next few months, and again, it's going to get worse before it gets better, but it has to. If we want to get to our world that we have envisioned, of peace and love and understanding, then we have to go through this, and we have to deal with it, and we have to work through it, and it's going to be individual, and it's going to be.
You can't keep pushing it back, because it's just going to be just like trying to hold vomit back.
Yeah.
The karmic garbage
yes.
is coming up.
Yes.
You're not going to push it back down, just like you can't push down vomit. Right. Once it comes up, it comes up, and that's exactly what's happening. Right. I mean, it's a really descriptive way of saying it, but
yeah, no,
it's
yeah,
what's going
right.
on in the world, and in everything, politics, our personal lives, the planet in general, all of this. It's all coming up. It's not going to be pushed back. It's going to bring light. It's going to be there.
Yep, it's kind of like it's kind of like you gotta throw up before you feel better. Gotta throw up to feel better.
And you can't hold it back.
Right. It's barely honest, but yeah, and
so it says descriptive. It's a terrible way of putting it, but it is. It's karmic garbage. It's vomit. It's coming up. You're not going to stop it. It's time to heal it.
Because what is going on an individual basis in this world right now, it's going on collective too. So what we're seeing, right? Yes. So what we're seeing is a collective purging. So we take in perspective these dark things that are going on in this world, and it's actually a mirror of what's going on in the collective subconscious. Okay? So again, we gotta purge it, we gotta shine that light on it to work through it.
For an easy reference, we have to face it to erase it.
Yes.
And that is a complete, just little simple sentence that my guides give me back probably in July or August. They told me that.
Yep.
You have to face it to erase it.
You
have to heal it to seal it.
I like it. Face it to erase it. That's a good way to put it.
Mm-hmm.
I like it. Perfect. Did we have anything else that we wanted to touch on that we talked about? Or make sure we don't have any questions here. I can't think of anything. No true form of expression without self. I'm sorry. No true form of expression of self without coincidences. Conscious. I'm sorry, Diane. I agree, yes. Okay. Dirty laundry. Yeah, that's a good way to put it. We gotta bring out the dirty laundry and put it in the basket so we can wash it. Yeah, that's a good.
Yep, sort it out. It's time to get out the stains.
Exactly.
Or to throw the T-shirt out.
Exactly. Yes. Exactly. Or throw it out.
Do we save it or do we throw it?
Oh yeah. But you know what? We're all going to have to make that decision, though. It's a tough decision sometimes. Do we want to throw this away or do we want to wash it out? What's more effective? What's more cost effective? And you get to keep it, but you've washed it, or do you just want to forget about it and throw it away and then give it, and then it gets recycled and then it gets thrown back to you anyway, so you might as well just deal with that and wash it out and keep it, but it's transmuted into something more positive. So yeah.
Yeah, basically you take every problem in your life, you give it the 5-second rule.
Yep.
Like you said, 5 seconds.
Yep.
Do I stay in this relationship? Do I take this job?
Yep.
Do I do what my moms want me to do? Do I go where my heart's telling me to go?
Yep.
5 seconds. 5 seconds. 5 seconds.
Yep.
If it doesn't feel good, it doesn't feel right, it's time to get rid of it.
Yep.
Straight up. If it doesn't feel good, it's got to go.
Yeah.
Whether it's a person, an item, a problem. If it doesn't feel good, it's got to go. It's time. It's got to go. And the thing about it is once it does go, you make that conscious decision, that physical decision.
You feel so much better. Oh, yeah.
Everything else is like a domino effect.
Yeah.
It will, once you clear it out for better things to come its way. As long as it's stagnant, as long as it stays, the energy is still there.
Yes.
It's idling. Nothing's going to change. And then you sit there like, oh, God, why am I so depressed? Why am I still here? And getting out of relationships is a hard one. That's karmic garbage. That, if it doesn't feel good, it's time to go. And that takes steps.
Yeah.
And, or a job, doesn't matter. If it doesn't feel good, it doesn't feel right. The heart doesn't thump properly when you feel it. It's not coming good from the heart. Yes. Let it go, because there's other good things, opportunities, jobs, events, relationship, people. And with that, I'm just going to say this from a personal point of view. If you're in a bad relationship that's not resonating with you, take the time out to find yourself.
Yeah.
Take the time to heal yourself before you take your trauma, pain on to the next.
Oh, exactly. The carryover. I call it the carryover
Walking in our authentic
effect.
self, you have to deal with your karmic garbage.
Yep.
Authentically find yourself. And if you're meant to find, the love of your life after the healing, then it'll come. It's all in the dominoes.
Yeah. Exactly. And I call it the carryover effect. So whenever we came out of a relationship, or whether it was negative or whether it was horribly negative or whatever the case may be, any relationship. When you go,
relationship with your boss, relationship with your lover,
anybody,
any relationship,
exactly.
Your relationship to the community.
Anything we have an interaction with, we have a relationship with. So whether it's this table, my phone, I've got relationships with anything that I interact with that has whatever effect on me. But whenever we leave a certain relationship and we don't take that time to heal it and to work through the lessons that we were meant to learn and find ourselves again, find our voice again, find our own feelings again, then if we don't do that, then we take all that stuff and then put it in an expectation for the next relationship. So anything unhealed, we're going to find in that relationship. And that's not fair to you. It's not fair to the other person. It doesn't give that relationship a chance, because then technically you're not in relationship. You're still in the last one, because you're bringing all that to the next one. So if you do, exactly. And that goes for anything. If we have a bad experience with a school and in school and we don't heal that, then we take it to the next time, if you're looking at colleges, then we take it to the next time we attempt to go to, and then we end up maybe failing or dropping out, and then the cycle begins again and again until we work through everything that we've dealt with. Okay.
So we face it to erase it.
Exactly. And in order to do that, in order to face it, you look at the situation. You look at whatever the situation it is that's causing you all of this stagnation, and say, what is it? Why am I being triggered by this? What am I supposed to be learning here? What did it show me about myself? What did it show me in general? What can I say? Can I say that if I hadn't have gone through this, then I wouldn't have gone through that, or I wouldn't have met that person or that person, and then learned this or that or whatever. You gotta take the lesson out of it, and then once you find the lesson, the healing generally comes natural after that, and you usually don't even realize that you've healed it until you move on and say,
you look back
oh
a year,
gosh,
look back a year later and go, wow,
I
can't believe the different life I'm living today than I was last year.
Exactly. And that was the homework the last time, was for you guys to look back and see yourself a year ago, or 5 years ago, or 10 years ago. And I hope all of you were able to do that.
The synchronicities that led up to where you are today at this moment.
Yes. And then be grateful for the situation and whatever effect, because when we put in an emotion of grateful onto the situation, then the situation doesn't have such a negative spin anymore, does it? When we can be grateful for what it showed us, about ourselves and where it led us if we hadn't gone through there. And I want to kind of go through things that we're holding on to, like I was saying about the previous relationship. So when we're holding on to all that guilt, resentment, unforgiving, we're like our consciousness is like, and our energetic body, it's like a space on a hard drive. Okay, it's like a hard drive in space. So whenever we're holding on to those low vibration emotions and resentment and negative memories, and when we're not facing them and we're not bringing them up for us to see, it's sitting there taking up space, and it's not allowing anything that better resonates with us to take that place because the space has already been taken up. If you ever tried to download an app on your phone and it tells you you don't have enough room, you got to delete one app in order to go on. Well, you find one, you go in, right, and you find an app that you haven't played with for a while, or you haven't opened for a while, and you get rid of it so you can have the new one come in, right? It's the same things for if it's not resonating with you anymore, if your energy is not matching whatever it is, okay, then obviously it's done showing you what it needs to show you about yourself, and the lesson has been learned. It's not resonating with you anymore. Your time with that is done. So you bring it up, you release it, so your newer things, your better resonating situations can come to you. But again, you got to delete the app to get the new one that you've been wanting, right? But you cannot get the new app until you delete the old one. So
I love that one. That is a perfect an explanation of the map. Mm-hmm. The map to healing.
yes, the map to healing. And it's like a map that's like, huge, and like it crisscrosses, and oh my goodness.
It's so perfect though.
Yeah.
Because I'm sure everybody watching tonight has done that. It's like, oh, I want to play Bubble Witch Saga 3.
Yeah.
But you have to delete this and this app because you don't have enough room. I mean, come on. We've all been there.
That's perfect.
That is a good way of saying it.
Yeah.
If you don't have enough room for it in your life, it has to go. Just, you have to close one door to open another. But I like your you put it clearly to people who don't really understand where we're coming from.
Yeah.
And can understand that.
And I give credit to my guides for that one, because my daughter, she got a little cheap little tablet that I've got little educational games on there for, so she got numbers and letters. So I'll give credit to my guides on that one, because she's been wanting this new game that she's seen somewhere. Okay, somebody else was playing it or something, and I go in and I said, honey, you got to pick one that you don't play with anymore, because otherwise we don't have enough room. And it was like an aha moment. That was my aha moment for the day, was that I'm like, oh my gosh, that is just like what we do to heal, or when we're trying to manifest or elevate or raise our vibration. Yes. That is exactly what we have to do, because obviously I couldn't have got.
If karmic garbage were apps,
yes,
which one would we delete first?
Right. Yes. You know what? Oh my gosh.
So perfect. I love it.
I know, but I just had I just had another aha moment. I'm gonna have to create a whole new thing now on the karmic garbage app. Well, we're gonna come up with something, because I've got a bunch of ideas rolling around in my brain. Okay. But I'm glad.
Our terminology, sisters, karmic garbage. Mm-hmm. It is karmic garbage. And what app are you going to delete? I love it.
Yeah. That's awesome. That's awesome.
We could write a book. If karmic garbage was an app, which one would you delete?
Yeah.
That's so funny.
What garbage are you going to, yeah. You got it. Mm-hmm. That's awesome.
Because when we allow ourselves to do these things is where we are today. We rise in our frequency. We rise in our upgrading. Our third eye starts to open. Our pineal gland starts to awaken.
Yes.
We start to become more open to what the reality of our lives are, and not what we were programmed to believe life is.
Right. Mm-hmm. Yes.
And that's what gets us. That is where we all start ascending, and we're going to do it as a collective. So as a collective, we need to look at each other, look into our own lives first, look into our karmic garbage, and what app we have to start deleting. Is it our toxic family? Is it our toxic job?
Yes.
Is it our toxic garbage we talk to ourselves with?
Right, or all of the above.
Absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Because we all are one, we all are affected. We all touch each other one by one by one.
Yep.
Just imagine what the world would be like if we all decided to look at ourselves in the mirror and look into our lives and really take away all that is not benefiting the whole.
Well, it's coming.
Look like
yeah.
then? And
it's
that's
coming.
where we're headed.
Yes, it's coming.
This
you
is
got
where
it.
we're going.
Yep, you got it.
This is where we're going.
It's coming. You got it.
This is how we get there.
You got it. So we have to rid ourselves of the low vibratory app so we can get the high vibratory app, because the high vibratory app comes with opening chakras
and bugs.
Yes, exactly, and
the old app.
and unlimited lives, because whenever we take
down
in
our systems with depression and anger and fear and resentment.
Exactly.
Those are the viruses. Those are the bugs.
Because our system crashes with that kind of app. I mean, really, yeah. There we go.
Oh boy, awesome.
Yeah.
Never thought about ascension and talk about it in computer terms.
Well, yeah, I mean,
it really makes more sense.
Because, we were talking earlier between us, the terminology can be kind of difficult to understand, and not everybody can understand it. And so they're hearing it, but are they really visualizing how it works and the process of things? It's kind of hard to understand. So a long time ago, my guide started kind of giving me breaking down examples to, like, comparing our consciousness to a hard drive, because it really is.
Yes, because we are a computer, yes.
Exactly.
We are on a computer system. We are on an operating system, absolutely.
Yep, and
our brain...
on
electricity.
Yeah, our brain is the processor.
Conducted by water.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely.
And we've got our brain is the processor, and our nerves are the wires, and
our body is the machine.
Exactly.
That carries the computer. Yes.
Exactly. So it kind of helped me not only help myself, but kind of help my audience understand things a little bit better too, with how that way they can kind of see it and, like, oh my gosh, yeah, you're right. It's exactly how it is. And they were talking about, there was a channeling session I did, it's been a while for this one, but talking about what's going to happen whenever this solar event happens, whenever that huge burst of energy goes through us. It's like we're immediately, within no time, I mean nanoseconds, instantly going to be, and for some it may be more gradual, but for some it's going to be like immediately taking let's say a 1 megabyte hard drive and instantly upgrading it to a 10 terabyte hard drive. Okay, because we come from a slower processing speed, slower programming, lower vibratory, full of viruses, full of programming, like I said. Unneeded apps, and defragmented, and then whenever you upgrade to a 10 terabyte hard drive, then obviously naturally it's going to come with a faster processor, an upgraded processor, and then you've got more room
the motherboard will be all fixed and super super fast.
Right. Exactly.
The motherboard will be fixed.
Right, exactly. But we have to let go of all this negative or lower vibratory anything, or anything just not resonating with in general, because when that burst of energy, if you strike a computer with lightning, doesn't it crash on you? You know what I mean? So if that all that hits us and we're holding on to this full thing of unwanted stuff and unwanted apps and unused defragmented programming, if we strike it with lightning, then it's just gonna go, and it's just not gonna work. So if you lessen the load, and you raise yourself up and then slowly but surely upgrade it just a little bit over time and teach yourself how to have higher processing speeds and more effectively let go of all this. And then maybe you hit it with some lightning. It's already kind of know how to work with that lightning because you've kind of slowly but surely over time kind of taught yourself how to process faster and more effectively.
Get familiar with the program.
Exactly.
Exactly.
It's already gotten a
without
taste.
Even thinking. You can't go back to the other way of thinking.
Exactly. It's already gotten a kind of a taste, and it knows kind of what to expect, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then it immediately upgrades, and then, you know, yeah, that's. So that was a really good one for them to bring through.
You can't get a taste of the new system and want to go back to the old.
Exactly. Yep. You got it. And I was really grateful that I came through with that one because it just really helped me understand and also kind of help break it down a little bit better for, you know, my audience and that. So
well, I mean, when it comes to the ascending and using the computer terms, you can't go into a Mac system when you're still running on an Android.
Yeah, you're right. Exactly. And that's pretty much what the upgrade is going to be, is we're going to be in new and improved systems. And you know, I couldn't take a CD-ROM and put it in a VHS, you know, it just doesn't work. So
right, it doesn't. And you can't convert it. You have to change it, rearrange it, you know.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. You
got
to transfer
starting with ourselves is the key to that.
Right. You got it.
And we all have the power to start new with a fresh system.
Mm-hmm.
The only
every single one of us
living in any situation, I don't care where you are.
Every single one of us, you got it. Okay.
We have our own key to open our own door. We just have to walk to it. We just have to get there, open the door, close the other one.
Yep. And then
make the conscious decision.
And don't look back in a sense that you're lacking that. When we think about how we don't have that thing anymore, we're lacking this, then it manifests lack, because that's where our focus is. So focus more on, sure, that situation isn't here anymore, but look at all these wondrous opportunities that I can fill that void with. I've got all these other things that are so much better, so much higher vibrational, so much more resonating with me, so many new opportunities that I can choose from. So instead of coming from that place of lack, you know, wherever our focus is, our power goes. So whatever we're focusing, honing in on, that's what we see in our outside world. That's what's giving us power. Or that's what we're giving power, I should say. We're always giving our own power away, all day, every day. So that's why we should focus on our ability to empathize while having compassion, but also coming from a place of, you know, being authentic and loving ourselves and speaking to ourselves like we would those other people too. So, okay. Let me.
And knowing that you matter, that no matter how small you feel, or, you know, how big you think somebody else is, that every point of light, every human on this earth matters.
Absolutely, 100%. All 7.5 billion.
Every one of us, I mean, every one of us on a small scale on a big world.
Yeah.
And when we finally really realize that, because
we'll go places then. When
we start healing, this is coming from a personal perspective. You know, we start healing and we start walking around with lighter bodies. Maybe not. You know, I don't know. It might happen physically too, but it doesn't have to. But you start to glow differently, and
yes,
you know. You'll notice people staring at you, and sometimes you feel uncomfortable, but you also realize that
you're glowing.
We are all connected, and our energy interconnected, and sometimes people are looking at you not because they're judging you, because usually that's where your ego will go, is, oh, why is she staring, or why is he staring at me, or whatever.
Exactly.
That's usually where your ego goes.
Exactly.
But to understand that you may be affecting them energetically, that you're the light that you are, walking around. I'm authentic, so when I walk around, I hear all the time, oh my gosh, Larissa, you just glow, you look so happy.
Yes.
And I'll tell you why. Because I chose to walk my authentic path. Yes. I chose to be who I am. And because of that, I have a light that shines so bright that when I walk into the public, they're not looking at me because they're not really physically probably even seeing me, but their energy is interacting with my energy. Yeah. And I'm hoping that when I walk out into the world, because, excuse me, I didn't have enough love for myself, let alone get it out to the world. Yeah. But because I am walking my authentic path, I have chose to embrace who I am, good, bad, right, wrong, whatever. I am who I am. I'm living in the flow. I am happy. I'm in love. I am absolutely radiating. And if I can walk into a room and people's energy needs that, and that's going to fill them up, I've just empowered, our collective, the community around us, because our energy is interchanging, it is connecting, whether you know it physically, mentally, energetically, it's there. Always sending out energy to the people around us. So
and a lot of times
remember
we
that
don't even know it.
We're not little. We all play a small part, and
yeah, you got it.
I don't know where I was going with this, but I just know
that's
that
okay. You make a good point.
We are going to shine brighter. We are going to affect people positively better if we are positive in our own space.
Absolutely. And a lot of times we don't even know what effect we have. I know sometimes I talk to my guides and I say, I just don't think I'm doing enough. What can I do more? And they always come back with, you have no idea how far you're reaching. You have no idea what the effect you have.
Yes.
And every single person can affect another. But, you're right. You kind of brought up, you go places and people stare at you. Well, when you're coming from a place of natural, higher vibration, you put off this energetic glow. And you may not be able to see it yourself, or anybody else may not be able to see it visibly. It's not like a visible glow. It's like an energetic glow. So you literally, when you're higher vibratory, you're changing the physics around you. You're changing the energy around you. You're rippling out. So people are going to look because they're going to be naturally drawn. And then they're going to just kind of see, again, it's that energetic glow. It's not like a physical glow. It's not like we're luminescent, but
in a sense we are. They're going to be better for it. All of us are.
Yes, absolutely. A good way to, if you're asking yourself, am I a starseed, this and that, or am I making a difference somewhere in particular? But let's start with the starseed question first. First of all, if you're having to ask that question, then you probably are.
You are.
But yeah,
you are.
if you're even thinking about it, then you are, right. Number two,
absolutely.
One of the big things that I find is that people are naturally drawn to starseeds in general, or just people of good high vibration. I suppose not everybody of high vibration is a starseed. Not everybody is, but especially your starseeds, because when we have evolved to different star systems, it's just a natural thing that we're higher frequency. But people will just come up to you randomly. They're going to be drawn to you, come up to you, and just start talking to you. And then they're going to say, I don't know why I talked to you. I don't know you, or I don't know why I said that. I don't know you, or I have people come up to me all the time. I have no idea, and start telling me their life story. And they don't know me. They don't know what I do. They don't know I come on here and coach and all this. They don't know me, but they knew they were drawn to me, and they felt like they were comfortable enough to talk about that with me. I was driving, and I was driving one day, and I come up to, I was driving, and I see this lady on a bike, and she's all by herself. She's just riding along, and so I come up to a four-way stop, and she's next to me, and she just starts talking to me. And so I roll down my window, and I'm like, only me would have a complete stranger at a four-way stop, you just tell me her life story, but this is exactly what I'm talking about, is that people just are drawn to you in a way that, other things about starseeds is just, having your empathy and compassion developed enough to where, you can consciously make those decisions on to be compassion and empathy. I think that's a big factor. So, yeah. Yeah. Let me make sure we're not missing any questions here. Let me see. Let's see, you're reacting to your energy. And then Diane says, I feel that way at times with my page, and I also wonder, but I know I am. I got you. Okay. Yeah, I think she's speaking of if you are asking the question if you are a starseed, then you are, because it's in your consciousness for a reason. It's in your consciousness for a reason.
I agree.
Yeah. I find that a lot of starseeds complain about their feet being cold, naturally colder. Also, if, and this is my guide coming through, they're showing me, like somebody eating like pudding, or jello or something like that. So take this into consideration, food-wise. So Earth, we have a certain substance of food. It's not always the same. But when you're talking about other planets and food, not everything is tacos and cheeseburgers, okay? So when you're dealing with other planets, they have other materials, other compounds. So craving something of like a fluid-like consistency, or something of that nature, because I know Arcturus, they have like this energy plasma-like substance that is their food, instead of like the food we have here. So craving those type of sweet snacks or soft snacks like that might be one of the characteristics. But let's see. Okay. Well, if there's any other questions, I'll go ahead and give you just a couple more minutes, and then we'll go ahead and kind of wrap it up and head off. I think it's getting pretty late. It's 12:14 in the morning where I'm at, so yeah. So I'll give everybody just a few minutes. Mine is in my back.
To anybody out there watching, if there is, we're looking for, questions that maybe we can answer. If we don't know, we'll try to find the answers. There's so many things that me and Trish want to touch on.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
And, so everybody knows that we really don't make an itinerary when we come on.
Right.
We come on here to talk to you guys with what our hearts are telling us to talk about that week, because me and Trish talk about our experiences. And it's like, oh, we should talk about that when we go on.
Yes.
But we literally come here in this platform to talk to each other, but we are here to talk about whatever you, the audience, and thank you for being here with us, would like to know, and we would love wholeheartedly to answer your questions. If there's one single subject that maybe we just need to, like, if we get, we want to talk about UFOs, and that's all, like, one night we just get so many requests to talk about UFOs.
Yeah.
Like, we would like to do that. We are here to talk about that, and this is a place to do it. This is what we're here for. And
exactly.
I thank Trish for bringing me on, and we're finally walking our path together, and it was our mission, and I'm blessed and I'm thankful. So
I am very thankful to have you. Again, I wanted to do it because I wanted to create that platform where it's two people connecting and high vibing, and because sometimes it takes another person that's like you and can sync with you to kind of trigger you to raise yourself. When you're deep in a conversation and thinking deeply, and again, it's to answer everybody else's questions too, because I know everybody has questions. I was there. I still am there. I ask so many questions a day still. Like Larissa said, I'm a lifetime learner.
To wake up a student.
Exactly. I'm a lifetime learner of the universe, a lifetime student of the universe.
Yes.
And it's never going to stop.
Dun, dun, dun,
right.
Reporting for duty.
Yeah. Exactly. But I, like she said, we are so glad to take any kind of request on subjects or any specific questions that you would like us to bring to these lives. Please get a hold of one of us. We'd be glad to bring it on one of the lives. And again, if we don't have the answer, we'll talk to our guides, or we'll find the answer, or we'll research it, or we'll get you there if we don't know. A lot of our information from both my and Larissa's knowledge bank comes from experience. So if you're worried about asking a question, or if you think that you're embarrassed, chances are one of us has been there, and or somebody has been there. So there's no need for that. We've experienced, between the two of us, a heck of a lot in our short life. So, but there's a reason for that. A lot of the coaches and authors that spiritual communities, they had some of the hardest life because for one, they chose it because I don't feel like it's fair for me to sit here and coach about something that I have no knowledge of, no experience over. So we chose to kind of experience that to gain more of an insider insight on it, so to speak, I guess, So don't be afraid to ask any questions. Chances are we've been there, or we've heard it, or and the point is that you need direction, and that's what we're there for. So absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely, 100%. I couldn't have said that better.
Yep. Yep.
I couldn't have said it better.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, I want to thank you all for joining us, and I'm sorry for the delay. We were having some technical stuff, of course. It wouldn't be a live feed if we didn't have technical issues. So, and you know me, I'm always...
headphones. We're still having one, but we got past it.
Yeah, exactly. And we always will. It's just a hiccup. Just a hiccup. We always get through it. At least, and I waited to the end to say this, that at least it didn't shut off like it used to. My lives used to just randomly shut down, so I'm grateful that it didn't do that.
Yes, we are.
Yes.
Yes, we are.
Awesome. Alright, y'all. I don't see any further questions, so I want to thank you all for being there, and thank you, Diane, for being very conversative. Much love to you guys.
Namaste. Thank you all.
Yes. And we will see you
all. Love all around the world.
Yes. Love and light. Blessings. Again, may you see yourself. May you find yourself. May you be yourself. May you allow yourself to spread your own love and kindness. Right.
And don't let the media distract you from your karmic garbage.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
You can take it in. You can, be a part of it if you choose to, because you got free will.
Yeah.
But you can choose how you react to it. So.
Absolutely, we have a choice. We always have a choice. Always have a choice. Absolutely. I will catch you all on the flip side next week, probably. Again, you know where to find us if you have any questions. Love and light to you all.
You can find us on the Divine Sisterhood.
Oh, yeah.
And the Healing Oracle. And the Goddess of Good Vibes. And here on the YouTube, the Healing Oracle 1111.
Thank you all very much, and thank you, Larissa. Good night. Okay, I'm going to.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Yay.
Yes. Well, give me just
It
one
gets
second.
easier every time.
What was that?